Hello everyone, this is Enea here, and in today's tutorial I'll teach you how to create this Japanese arrow pattern in Affinity Designer. This pattern is known in Japanese as Yabane or Yagasuri and represents good luck and determination. This pattern is made of arrows whose color alternate at every second iteration. As I explained in my previous tutorials, in order to create a pattern for a pattern fill, we first need to identify the tile that repeats itself throughout the composition. In this particular pattern, identify the following tile that I highlighted with the red rectangle. The key to identifying a tile in a pattern is that it must start at the top, where it ends at the bottom, and it must start on the left, where it ends on the right. So this is what we're going to seek to create, and this is what the tile will look like after we have created and exported it. Alright, so to get started, we go to File New, and we create a new composition. We give it A5, orientation to portrait, and document units to pixels. And then we go to the Margin tab, and we uncheck Include Margin, and we click on Create. And then we make sure that Snapping, Snap to Grid, and Snap to Object Bounding Boxes are enabled. And then we're going to set up the grid, so we go to View, Grid and Axis. We check on Show Grid to make it visible, and then we go to the Basic tab, and we set the spacing to 100 pixels. And then we can close the Grid Manager. And then we're going to start drawing the first arrow. So we take the pen tool, we set the fill and the stroke to none, and then we go ahead and we draw a parallelogram, like this, of 4 grid units in length on its left and right sides. And then we set its fill color to brown, and we press on Escape to unselect. And then we take the rectangle tool, and we set the fill color to white. And then we go ahead and we draw a thin rectangle like this, of about 20 pixels in width. And then we select the parallelogram. We press on Ctrl J to duplicate it, and we flip it horizontally, and we move it to the right until it snaps to the rectangle. And then we select all 3 elements, and we press on Ctrl G to group them together. So this is going to be our first arrow. In order to create the tile, we are going to need 6 arrows overall. So we press on Ctrl J to duplicate it, and we move the duplicated arrow to the right until it snaps to the first arrow. And then we uncollapse it, and we are going to change the colors. So we select both parallelograms, and we set their fill color to white, and we select the rectangle, and we set its fill color to brown. And then we select both arrows. We press on Ctrl J to duplicate them. We flip the duplicated arrows horizontally, and then we move them downwards until they snap to the 2 first arrows. And then we press on Ctrl J to power duplicate. So now we have 6 arrows overall. And the next step is going to be to delineate the tile. So the tile is going to be located from this point here to this point here. So we take the rectangle tool, and we set the fill and the stroke to none. And then we go ahead and we draw a rectangle between these 2 points here. And then we select the rectangle. We make sure that it is positioned correctly. And then the next step is going to be to export its content. So we go to File, Export. We set the file type to PNG, and the area to selection area to export only what's within the rectangle. And we click on Export. Alright, so now that we have exported the tile, we can use it to do a pattern fill. So we go to File, New, and we create a new document. We're going to hide the grid. And then we take the rectangle tool, we set the fill and the stroke to none. And then we go ahead and we create a rectangle all over the composition. We select the rectangle, we take the vector float fill tool, we go to set bitmap fill, and we select the tile that we just created. We click on the composition, and this creates a pattern fill. And if we want, we can set the pattern at a 45 degrees orientation by rotating while holding shift. Alright, so that was it for this tutorial. You'll learn how to create a Japanese arrow pattern in Affinity Designer. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and learned something from it. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Affinity Designer tutorials in the future. And until then, see you next time. Bye.